Monster Hunter is the latest monster kaiju flick to hit the big screen. I mean, I guess something had to fill in the gap while we're all patiently waiting for Godzilla vs. Kong, right? The latest film from director Paul W.S. who, on a quick side note, this man has got one of the strangest filmographies from a director's standpoint that I know in his possession at this point. I mean, this one person single-handedly has given us Armageddon, Pompeii, Mortal Kombat, another shitty Three Musketeers movie, too many Resident Evil movies for one's well-being, and now this. This guy is onto something here, you know. I mean, I can just feel him like in there somewhere. There's something brewing in his little brain, and at one point it's gonna come out. It's gonna be a nice, flourished out project. But not now. Anyways, the Monster Hunter stars Milla Jovovich and Tony Jaa and a couple of other characters who you really don't even need to know about. I mean, you got, I guess, Ron Perlman, Hellboy, he's in this, and T.I. is in this. I mean, T.I. really did caught me off guard when he came on the screen, but I guess the man's got to make some kind of paycheck since he hasn't had a hit since 2008, right? I would love to tell you guys about the plot of the film, but to be completely transparent, I don't even think there's a thread of a story going on here. I walked into this movie with crystal clear expectations for myself that all this movie really had to do was just have Milla battle some big creatures with some decent special effects just to carry the movie throughout at a nice pace. And then I cannot stress this enough how disappointed and meandered those expectations were for me. Milla doesn't do shit here. She physically and literally cannot exert much of a fight against any of these monsters because they're just so overwhelming and so much bigger and better than her. The entirety of the movie, it's quite literally just her being tossed around like a body bag. I'm not even trying to exaggerate. By the end of this movie, this woman should be dead. Pronounced dead, if not bleeding or internally bleeding from all the damage she's suffered. She's literally getting bodied left, right, up, down, side to side, everywhere by a monster or the weather. Just everything is just out to get her here. Anyways, like I mentioned, I mean, there is a shred of a plot here. It's pretty much the story of Milla just getting somehow transported into this dimension of monsters and beings, and she runs into a character called the Hunter. They don't even give him a name, but the two have to grudgingly work together in order to just escape the monster world and get back to the real world. I mean, honestly, why do I even want to go back? Like, I'd rather just stay there. Our world isn't that special anyway. But that's it. That's the plot. I mean, it's pretty much just like a linear video game, like Final Fantasy, where you're just going from point A, point B, point C, and here's a battle sequence in between point A and B, another one between B and C, and then boom, we're at the finale. Here you go, eat it up. Again, going into this film, I had such low expectations, and everything was just shattered with disappointment more and more. The last 20 minutes, they even start to give you more exposition about the weapons in the world and how they have special powers. Again, the last 20 minutes, we're getting more information that we probably should have known at some point in the beginning or even halfway through the film. They shoehorn more stuff in, and they tell you, like, all this stuff. I'm like, I just don't care. With regard to the monsters too, it's like you would think for a movie fittingly titled Monster Hunter there would be maybe more than 3 or 4 or 5 monsters, but no, you get a handful and that's it. I won't lie though, at least the exchanges between the two main characters, there's some pretty funny scenes in here. I mean, the dialogue for them was well written and the two actors acted it out pretty well for their end, so the humor was solid. The world design is actually visually impressive as well. I mean, it's fitting for what it is, for the premise. It literally looks like they took the map from the video game, copy and paste it into a film version, and it looks pretty how it should, so props to them on that. The power scaling from the monsters to the humans is also what is pretty obvious and clear cut for me. I mean, you could just tell that they were wanting to showcase how outmatched and how powerless the entire squadron is against all these monsters. They're pretty much like vermin to them. Other than that though, this movie just truly doesn't do anything remotely engrossing. I mean, it's just sad. It's like being given the most basic action movie script and doing the bare minimum to finish it and then just turning it in and having fun. What's funny to me is too that the film feels super self-referential in that it understands its place as a video game movie, and yet it still follows the same tropes, the same cliches that it's just boring at this point. It's mundane, it's been done, we've seen it over and over and over. The movie even kills off most of the team within a very, very quick period of time, which I thought was a bold move, but by the end of it you realize it's actually tiring to hear Milla just talk to the Hunter like he's a third grader, just talking to him like this. Chocolate, hi, hello. There's no room for character development. The editing is super choppy. Many scenes just feel like they're dragging endlessly without anything interesting happening. At one point, I remember even visually looking at my Jack and Coke to next to me. I'm just like, I gotta down this because I need to ease some pain. I need to get this off my head. To put it plain and simple, there's just nothing special in Monster Hunter. The monsters are mediocre at best. The action is never really engaging at all, and sometimes it's just prolonging. The pacing is atrocious, and again, they spend over an hour and a half in the film with the desert, and then they finally get to a new section in the rainforest, and they just force feed us more information with 15 minutes left. I'm like, they're literally trying to be being like a college student, just scramble an assignment before 11:59, just jumbling and writing up a bunch of nonsense and just sending it in and hit submit. And honestly, by the end of the movie, I felt like a loser. I spent money and I'm like, why did I do this to myself?